We are headed back from the store right now. Did you know that beef jerky is about $30 a pound? Not only is it expensive, but it is filled with a bunch of stuff like cures and preservatives and things that you just really don't need because, I don't know about you, but beef jerky don't last that long that it needs to be preserved around me. It just needs to be flavored and eaten. So I'm going to take some spices that I have on hand and mix them up. I'll show you how to do that. I'll have a list down below for what those spices are. Quantity doesn't really matter. Measurements don't really matter. What matters is flavor. We're going to have a lot of flavor in this. Then I'm going to put it on the new Ninja smoker and give it a trial run and see what happens. One of the cool things about beef jerky is it is really impossible to mess it up. If you find that you can't smoke it long enough, it just becomes a little extra cooked meat. If you find that you haven't smoked it enough, then you just smoke it for longer. It's fine. You can also do this in an oven, put it at as low of a temperature as you want. It takes about 5 or so hours in the oven to make it happen, but you don't always have to do it in the oven. You don't always have to do it indoors. We're gonna try doing it over a campfire one of these days, so make sure you're subscribed to see that when it comes up. Once you get this thing all marinated, let it sit for as long as you care to, as long as you possibly can. 1 hour is good, 4 hours are better, 24 hours is fantastic, and then after that you start getting onto the other side of it. I'm setting this up on a Friday. However, I'm not going to be cooking it until Sunday because it's supposed to rain all day Saturday, and I got other plans on Saturday. So we're looking at slightly more than 24 hours, which is going to be just fine. It's time to make up some fajita seasonings. What I am going to need is, to start off with, an old empty spice bottle, and this one will do, and I put S on there because my name's Steve, and that's my special spice mix. And I kind of just play it by ear. I'm going to need some chili powder right there. I'm going to need some paprika right there. And these are actually really neat little spice jars. They are magnetic, and on the top, it's actually embossed as to what they are, so it says paprika, but then you stick it to something with the top down and can't tell what it is anymore. So my wife put some labels on the back of them. So I need chili and paprika and onion powder. Where is the onion powder? There it is. Onion powder, and then garlic, and then cumin. And I use a lot of cumin. I love me some cumin. And then cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper. And there will be a list of ingredients down below, but you know, quantity doesn't matter. It's all about flavor. This also calls for salt, but instead of salt, because this is a marinade, I want something wet to infuse stuff with. So I'm gonna use me some soy sauce. So the recipe I started with says 2 teaspoons of chili powder, but like I said, I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna do some chili powder. That looks good. Maybe a little more. Yep, that looks good. And I'm making up a lot, not just like 1 serving's worth. So that's why it looks big. Paprika. And you can put in smoked paprika for this, which is excellent, but we're already gonna smoke it, so I don't need to double smoke and don't need to pay the extra money for the smoked paprika. Onion powder, yep, I'm gonna use all of that. Done. I'll have to refill that one later. Garlic powder, I'm gonna use all of that, and then some, and then cumin. Lots and lots of cumin. I love cumin. Oh, I just love the smell of it right there. Whew. I like it spicy, so I'm actually going to put in some cayenne pepper. All right, there we go. I'm going to get some more garlic. And then you just want to mix it up a little bit. You don't even really have to mix it up, but I wanted to show y'all. It's just a lot of powder, and it makes an amazing thing. And the reason why you don't need to mix it up all that much is because I am putting it in my spice jar, and I can shake it up in there. Remember how I told you that any cut of meat was going to work? This is beef bottom round steak for stir fry, and it is $10.97 a pound. And I actually found meat that was cheaper than this, but because this is already sliced up so nice and thin, that's a lot less work for me to worry about. So it was worth the extra, you know, $2 or $3 a pound to get that, to save me about an hour of cutting. And then I know a lot of people use Ziploc bags for marinating, but I like these little Gladware containers because they're reusable. And then this is how that meat was all nice and sliced up thin. This is going to be perfect for beef jerky. And you're trying to flavor this up for a good long time. So don't be afraid of it. Actually, I'm going to take the lid off. Yeah, that makes that so much easier. And you don't have to be neat like this because it's all going to mix in together anyway, but the goal is to get a lot of it on the actual surface of the meat. And there is a pound of beef jerky all set up and ready to go. In between each layer, I added in some of the soy sauce, help with the transfer of the flavor, get the flavor wet, get the essence out of it, and shove it into the meat. It's also going to help tenderize it a little bit, which is kind of interesting that you want to do that with beef jerky, but believe it or not, you do. And then we are going to put this on the smoker. It looks like we got the notification settings all squared away. I had to go into my Android permissions and turn it on to allow it to do notifications. And then you want to make sure you have your volume up, because a little vibration in your pocket probably isn't as good of a notification as a big loud bell when you're talking about something that's going in your belly. Hello. It's time to add some smoke flavor to our dehydration process. Let's make some beef jerky. Over here on the side, we have our little smoke tray thing. And I'm gonna use the all-purpose blend, up to 3 cooking sessions in this bag. We'll see if that's true or not. I just put these in a little Gladware container. Let's see how easy this is. There's one. All right, so 1 scoop fits exactly. I'm kind of actually surprised. Let's fire up our Ninja. And what I want to do is dehydrate. It says 6 hours at 150 degrees, that's fine. And I'm going to turn on the wood flavor technology and hit start ignition. And it says we need all the accessories. And I am only going to use the griddle. I'm not doing all of that mess. I am doing the grease trap, but I'm not doing the air fryer basket for this. And now I'm gonna go put some meat on the grill. Let's do this up. It's telling me the lid's open, which is absolutely correct. And as you lift that up, the smoker tray, the wood pellet tray, starts to tilt, so it shuts off the ignition. Next time, we'll load the meat up first. It's okay to put these pretty close together because they are gonna shrink up as they cook. There is our marinated meat, and there we are all laid out on the grill. So we're gonna have to do this in a couple of sessions, but I think it's gonna be worth it. And we're back to ignition cycle. Let's roll.
6 hours later.
It says, get food. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Oh, that looks pretty good. Not crispy, but also not all that dry. Yeah, real good. Get all this off. That is really good. I got to put some more on and run it again. That was 6 hours. I think it's got just the right texture to it. Yeah, I'm digging it. Let's take a look at the smoke chamber. There's actually still a little bit left in there. Not enough for another load, but I expected it to be completely gone. It's doing pretty good. Here is a little bit of a problem. Right when I finished taking the food off the grill the last time, I went ahead and put the grill back in. I just hit start to start it up again, thinking it would start in the exact same mode that it was in before. It went back to cooking on high and ruined the other half of the beef jerky. So make sure that you always go through the settings on the grill before you start cooking something new. It's kind of disappointing. Why would it change the settings? Yep, that's pretty much ruined. Fertilizer. Well, the jerky's all cooked up. Some of it has turned into fertilizer, and the grill is put away, and it is actually kind of half eaten by now. It is really easy to do this, and apparently with this grill, it's also really easy to screw it up. So make sure you reset your settings every time you start cooking with this thing. So there's a pro tip for you that I did not know. And who else is going to look out for you but this guy? Any cut of meat will work for this. That was bottom round or something like that, but you could very easily get an arm roast and spend some time cutting it up. It is easier to cut if it is a little more cold, like not refrigerator cold, not freezer cold, somewhere in between the two. We'll do some more cooking videos as we try to figure out what RV we're looking for. Right now, we are still out shopping on the market. And if we get out and it isn't a windy, rainy, ridiculous day, I'll get some footage of that for you and share it with you. There's a video right over here I think you'll enjoy next. I'll see you over there.